A linear groove is just a groove where no two limbs hit together at the same time. One of the most popular and recognizable examples of this is Steve Gadd's drum part on 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. Linear grooves tend to blow people's minds when they first hear them, but once you understand what's going on, they're not as difficult as you might think. I want to demystify the process and give you a system to help you create your own killer linear grooves, so let's break it down. Before we get started though, rudiments are the building blocks of everything that we play around the drums. But sometimes it's hard to figure out how to take those rudiments from just an exercise on the practice pad to a creative idea around the drum set. I created a free video detailing my process of working out rudiments around the drum set. It's called The Evolution of a Rudiment. I'll put a link in the video description down below. Alright, so first off, there are a few prereqs that we need to make sure that you have under your belt before we get started. A few basic skills that will make the learning process way easier. The first thing you'll need is a basic understanding of rhythm and notation. Do you know what a quarter note is, an eighth note, 16th notes? Can you count them out loud? Can you play a basic groove and count 16th notes out loud at the same time? One of the biggest problems holding back a lot of drummers is the inability to speak and understand the language of music. If this is something that you'd like for me to go more in depth in another video, just hit me up in the comments section and give me a thumbs up. The second thing you'll need to have under your belt is a good grasp of basic linear patterns. Most linear patterns are just a series of 16th or triplet singles that are interrupted by 1 or 2 bass drum hits. I go deeper into this topic in my linear drum fills video. I'll put a link to that in the description below as well. A simple exercise though to get you started is to play 16th notes with your hand on the snare drum and then replace each part of that 16th note with a bass drum hit, starting with the numbers and then working your way to the E's, then the ands, and then the uhs. If you can do this comfortably, then you're ready to jump into the lesson. Okay, step number 1 is to choose a groove that you're really comfortable with, one that you can play in your sleep. And then take this groove and then play it just on the kick and the snare drum. Here's the groove that I chose. Once you've chosen the groove, count 16th notes out loud while you play, and then identify which notes your groove covers. The groove I've chosen has bass drum hits on the 1, the of 1, the and of 2, and the and of 3. And then it has snare drum hits on the 2 and the 4. Once you figured out which 16th notes your groove covers, you want to then fill in the remaining beats on the hi-hat. Work through your groove beat by beat. Alright, so beat number 1 has a kick drum on the 1 and the so that leaves the E and the and to play on the hi-hat. Beat number 2 has a snare drum hit on the 2 and then the kick drum on the and, so that leaves the E and the to play on the hi-hat. Alright, beat number 3 just has a kick drum on the and, so that leaves the 3, the E, and the to play on the hi-hat. And finally, beat number 4 just has a snare drum hit on the 4, so that leaves the E, the and the to play on the hi-hat. When you put it all together, it sounds like this. It's good to work on this with your hands alternating as well. When you get this worked out, put everything together and work on the groove until you can flow with it comfortably. The next thing you want to do is explore around the drum kit. Play a groove with the new hi-hat pattern that you've worked out, but this time go beat by beat and replace that hi-hat part with another element of the drum kit. This could be a tom, cymbal bell, or even a bass drum. You can also try playing nothing at all on certain notes. Leaving space is oftentimes an element that drummers forget to use. And again, you want to practice this with one hand and then alternating hands to find out which sticking fits most comfortably with what you're trying to play. The final step is just to play around with these ideas and mix and match the different elements that you've come up with. Have fun with it and see what you can create.